As the summer sun beats down on Port Charles, the intricate web of deceit, romance, ambition, and dangerous secrets grows tighter than ever. The 2-week period from August 17 through August 28, 2026, promises a dramatic shift in power dynamics across the city, testing alliances from the grand hallways of the Quartermaine mansion to the covert corridors of the WSB. Chapter 1 sets the stage as old rivalries ignite, dangerous new partnerships form, and emotional fractures begin to deepen. The week opens with intense corporate maneuvering and personal turmoil within the Quartermaine family and Jasper Jacks Enterprises. Jocelyn Jacks finds herself stuck in an uncomfortable position as Executive Hudson keeps hounding her about the succession strategy for her father's empire. Determined to remain focused on her career with the WSB rather than taking the helm of JJE, Jocelyn seeks out her brother Michael Corinthos for his sharp business expertise. Michael agrees to assist her in handpicking a suitable CEO to get Hudson off her back, but his help comes with conditions of his own. Meanwhile, Carly Spencer remains deeply troubled by Jocelyn's choice of career, terrified that her daughter's involvement with the WSB will pull her into irreversible danger. In an effort to steer Jocelyn back toward corporate safety, Carly seeks out a new ally, initiating conversations with Hudson to see if they can align their interests. At the Quartermaine estate, tensions explode as Brooklyn Quartermaine is completely floored by Michael's decision to allow Willow Tate to move into the gatehouse. Knowing Willow's ongoing fascination with her husband Harrison Chase, Brooklyn views Willow's presence on the property as a direct threat to her marriage and household peace. Tracy Quartermaine continues to whisper in Michael's ear, pushing him to leverage everything he has against Willow to permanently push her out of their lives. Concurrently, corporate warfare simmers over at Deception. Lucy Coe finds herself increasingly rattled and paranoid, feeling surrounded and outvoted by the Quartermaines. Serena steps in to push back against extreme tactics, arguing that Michael could be a fair ally rather than an adversary, though Lucy remains thoroughly unconvinced. In the medical and romantic spheres, emotional bonds undergo profound changes. Dr. Lucas Jones, recovering from tragic losses and harrowing trauma, including surviving a shooting attempt by Jen Sidwell, finds solace and a blossoming connection as he spends quality time bonding with Jo. Ava Jerome observes Lucas's journey with a watchful eye, expressing genuine concern for his well-being while offering reassurances to Portia Robinson as medical and personal pressures mount at General Hospital. Meanwhile, a green-eyed monster begins to consume Rick Lansing. As Elizabeth Weber opens up and grows increasingly intimate with Dante Falconeri, Rick begins to spiral back into his darkest, most jealous tendencies. Seeing Liz and Dante together drives Rick to a breaking point, setting off a dangerous chain of events as he watches the woman who remains his ultimate weakness slip further away. Over at the docks and in the shadows of the underworld, major news reverberates through Port Charles. Jason Morgan delivers a piece of news that leaves Britt Westbourne completely stunned, shifting the ground beneath them both. In an unexpected alignment, mob kingpin Sonny Corinthos and WSB head Anna Devane find common ground over shared interests and threats, though Anna's internal psychological battle worsens as she continues to be haunted by visions of the late Peter August. Anna manipulates events behind the scenes, playing WSB matchmaker by introducing Tristan to Jocelyn for her own secret agenda. At the same time, Jocelyn makes a critical slip of the tongue, inadvertently revealing sensitive information that she desperately wishes she could take back. Behind bars, the sinister Jen Sidwell finds a new cellmate in the newly convicted Curtis Ashford, ensuring that the conflict will rage on even within the prison walls. Chapter 1 leaves Port Charles at a dangerous tipping point, with Carly plotting her next move, Rick spiraling into obsession, and Michael playing a high-stakes game that threatens to tear the Quartermaine household apart. As mid-August turns into late August, the tension in Port Charles boils over into open conflict, shocking revelations, and unexpected encounters. The second week of this dramatic period, running from August 24 through August 28, 2026, forces long-buried secrets to the surface as characters across town are pushed to their absolute limits. The week opens with a seismic shift in the custody battle and domestic struggle surrounding the Quartermaine family. Having recently secured shared custody of Wiley and Amelia, a emboldened Willow Tate escalates her demands, confronting Michael Corinthos directly at the estate and declaring her intention to take full custody of their children. Michael, already under immense pressure from Tracy to eradicate Willow's influence from their lives, refuses to back down. Just as the confrontation reaches a fever pitch, unexpected assistance arrives in the form of Trina Robinson and Kai, who show up at the Quartermaine mansion offering vital information. Trina reveals that they have crucial evidence regarding the shooting of Drew Kane, information that directly implicates Willow and could completely shatter her legal leverage. Meanwhile, corporate backstabbing intensifies as the fate of deception hangs in the balance. Lucy Coe's growing paranoia over Quartermaine control proves justified as board members align for a high-stakes showdown. Serena attempts to act as a voice of reason, cautioning against reckless retaliation, but Lucy remains convinced that Michael and his family are orchestrating a complete takeover. Over at Jasper Jacks Enterprises, Hudson continues to press for clarity regarding the corporate leadership structure. Having agreed to help Jocelyn Jacks select a CEO in exchange for a favor, Michael steps in to handle Hudson directly, setting off a delicate dance of corporate posturing between JJE, deception, and ELQ. In the criminal justice system, the fallout from recent violence comes to a dramatic head at the courthouse as the verdict in Curtis Ashford's high-profile trial is officially read. The outcome sends shockwaves through the community, altering his relationship with Portia Robinson and forcing Jordan Ashford to make a difficult professional decision. Behind bars, Curtis faces an immediate trial of survival as he adjusts to sharing a cell with the dangerous Jen Sidwell, who continues to plot his vengeance against those who brought him down. The romantic landscape of Port Charles grows increasingly treacherous as Rick Lansing's obsession reaches a breaking point. Having watched Dante Falconeri and Elizabeth Weber grow closer, Rick's dark side fully takes over. Driven by intense jealousy, Rick begins orchestrating a calculated scheme to sabotage Dante's standing, determined to prevent Elizabeth from slipping away from him forever. At the same time, Elizabeth finds herself torn between her deepening emotional connection with Dante and the lingering shadows of her past. On the covert front, Anna Devane's dual battles, both against her internal demons and external threats, reach a critical junction. While continuing to be haunted by visions of Peter August, Anna utilizes her position at the WSB to manipulate global affairs, leveraging Tristan's introduction to Jocelyn to further her own hidden agenda. When Jason Morgan uncovers a vital piece of intelligence regarding international operations, he delivers news to Britt Westbourne that alters her plans entirely. Jason and Sonny Corinthos form an unholy alliance with Anna to neutralize mutual enemies, but Jocelyn's accidental slip of the tongue threatens to expose their entire operation before it can be executed. Chapter 2 leaves the residents of Port Charles standing on the precipice of major life alterations, with Willow's secrets exposed, Rick's dangerous vendetta underway, and corporate empires hanging by a thread. As August draws to a close, the atmospheric pressure in Port Charles reaches an all-time high, with personal vendettas, high-stakes corporate power plays, and life-or-death secrets converging into an explosive climax. The third act of this two-week chronicle opens in the grand drawing room of the Quartermaine mansion, where the uneasy truce between Michael Corinthos and Willow Tate completely disintegrates. Having moved into the gatehouse under the guise of co-parenting harmony, Willow's true intentions become glaringly obvious to everyone on the estate, especially a furious Brooke Lynn Quartermaine. Brooke Lynn, determined to protect her home and her marriage to Harrison Chase, refuses to suffer in silence. She confronts Michael directly, demanding to know why he invited the very woman who drugged and undermined his family back onto Quartermaine soil. Michael, bearing the immense burden of protecting his children while trying to outmaneuver Willow legally, maintains that keeping her close is the only way to monitor her next move. However, Tracy Quartermaine steps into the fray with her characteristic lethal precision. Reiterating her stern advice, Tracy pushes Michael to stop playing defensive games and use the mountain of damaging evidence he possesses to crush Willow once and for all, purging her from the family legacy forever. The tension surrounding the estate takes a dramatic turn when Trina Robinson and Kai arrive with breaking news regarding the ongoing investigation into Drew Kane. Trina presents vital details that link recent backroom financial transactions directly to Willow's secretive circle, threatening to destroy her leverage in the custody battle before she can even file her petition in court. At the exact same time, Drew finds himself fighting on multiple fronts. Desperate to mend broken bridges, Drew offers an unexpected olive branch to his key adversaries, but his gesture is met with deep skepticism. His strained relationship with Scout and Alexis Davis deteriorates further when Danny Corinthos, armed with ruthless advice from Charlotte to go lower than Drew ever could, decides to take matters into his own hands to protect his connection with Scout. Over at Deception, corporate warfare transforms into a psychological chess match. Lucy Coe's paranoia reaches a fever pitch as she senses the Quartermain influence tightening around her company like a vice. Shaken and feeling desperately outvoted on her own board, Lucy pushes for a scorched earth defensive maneuver. Serena, acting as a crucial mediator, pushes back forcefully against Lucy's extreme panic, arguing that Michael could prove to be a fair, stabilizing partner rather than a hostile invader if they approach him with transparency. Yet Lucy's deeply ingrained mistrust of the family leaves Deception split down the middle, opening the door for external forces to exploit the vulnerability. Meanwhile, at Jasper Jacks Enterprises, the corporate succession plan takes an unexpected turn. Jocelyn Jacks remains adamant about pursuing her high-stakes career with the WSB rather than ascending the corporate ladder at JJE. Hudson continues his relentless pursuit for executive clarity, forcing Jocelyn to rely on Michael's formidable corporate expertise to screen a list of potential CEO candidates. Michael agrees to serve as her strategic advisor, but not without extracting a key promise from Jocelyn that could aid him in his own ongoing battles. Unbeknownst to Jocelyn, her mother Carly Spencer is operating in the shadows, forming a secret pact with Hudson. Carly, terrified of losing another child to the violent underworld of government espionage, attempts to manipulate the JJE board into making Jocelyn's corporate return so lucrative that she will be forced to abandon the WSB permanently. The romantic and emotional turmoil across town reaches a dangerous boiling point as Rick Lansing's descent into obsession accelerates. Watching Dante Falconeri and Elizabeth Weber grow genuinely close proves to be more than Rick's fragile ego can endure. Driven by deep-seated jealousy, Rick begins actively plotting an insidious plot to frame Dante, seeking to ruin his reputation in Elizabeth's eyes. Elizabeth, entirely unaware of Rick's covert sabotage, continues to open up to Dante, sharing vulnerable truths about her past that bring the two of them into a profound, intimate alignment. Seeing them together sends Rick completely off the rails, setting in motion a sequence of events that threatens to shatter the peace of General Hospital's nursing staff and police department alike. In the medical ward, a softer, darker parallel unfolds as Dr. Lucas Jones navigates the psychological aftershocks of surviving a brutal shooting by Jen Sidwell. Lucas finds comfort and unexpected emotional grounding in his growing bond with Joe, offering a rare ray of light amid the surrounding chaos. Ava Jerome observes Lucas's recovery with deep compassion, stepping in to offer reassuring words to Portia Robinson as administrative and personal pressures push Portia to the absolute brink. Down near the harbor and within the clandestine ranks of the WSB, international intrigue collides with local mob politics. Jason Morgan delivers a startling piece of intelligence to Britt Westbourne that alters her immediate future and forces her to reconsider her allegiances. Anna Devane and Sonny Corinthos solidify their unlikely partnership, finding rare common ground in their shared desire to neutralize common enemies threatening Port Charles. However, Anna's internal stability remains perilously thin as she continues to experience terrifying, realistic hallucinations of the late Peter August. Masking her psychological distress, Anna plays WSB matchmaker, introducing an agent named Tristan to Jocelyn under the guise of tactical training, though her true motive is to keep a tight leash on the young agent. The delicate web of secrets suffers a massive breach when Jocelyn inadvertently slips up during a high-stakes conversation, letting slip crucial tactical details that she desperately wishes she could recall. The ripple effects of her mistake reach all the way to Pentonville, where Curtis Ashford continues to adjust to his grim reality alongside cellmate Jen Sidwell. With Sidwell's health and survival questioned by legal figures like Justine, the prison wall offers no guarantee of safety as vengeance simmers behind bars. As Chapter 3 draws to a close, every major player in Port Charles stands on treacherous ground, setting up an unforgettable conclusion as secrets are laid bare and promises of revenge hang heavy in the air. The final stretch of late August in Port Charles brings months of brewing conflict, covert operations, and personal betrayals to an explosive, life-altering climax. As the sun sets on August 28, 2026, the delicate balance of power across the city shatters completely, leaving every major family and institution fundamentally changed. At the Quartermain estate, the final showdown for control of the gatehouse and the future of the family's young heirs reaches a dramatic breaking point. Armed with the financial and logistical evidence provided by Trina Robinson and Kai regarding Drew Kane's shooting, Michael Corinthos confronts Willow Tate in a high-stakes, closed-door meeting. With Tracy Quartermain watching from the wings like a seasoned general, Michael presents Willow with an ultimatum: surrender all remaining claims to full custody and step back from the Quartermain legacy, or face immediate criminal investigation as an accessory to conspiracy. Cornered and stripped of her leverage, Willow is forced into a devastating concession, though her parting look promises that the war for her children is far from over. Meanwhile, Brooke Lynn Quartermain and Harrison Chase finally reclaim peace in their home, securing their bond against external sabotage. Over at Deception, the corporate board meeting culminates in an unexpected shift. Serena's diplomatic maneuvering pays off as she manages to broker a compromise between Lucy Coe and the Quartermain interests, preventing a hostile liquidation of the company's assets. However, Lucy remains deeply scarred by the close call, vowing never again to allow the company's fate to rest in external hands. At Jasper Jacks Enterprises, Michael successfully concludes his advisory role for Jocelyn Jacks, helping her finalize the selection of a highly capable, independent CEO to steer JJE into its next chapter. Yet, Carly Spencer's secret intervention with Hudson backfires spectrally, when Jocelyn discovers her mother's covert attempts to bribe and manipulate her away from the WSB. A bitter rift erupts between mother and daughter, driving Jocelyn deeper into her operative duties. In the realm of crime and justice, the atmosphere inside Pentonville reaches a critical boiling point. Curtis Ashford, serving his sentence alongside the dangerous Jen Sidwell, is forced to use his tactical instincts to survive an orchestrated prison riot engineered by Sidwell's lingering underworld loyalists. In the ensuing chaos, Curtis saves a guard's life, an act of unexpected heroism that catches the attention of the state prosecution and opens a narrow path for an expedited legal appeal. Portia Robinson and Jordan Ashford receive the news with cautious hope, knowing that while Curtis's physical freedom may soon be restored, the psychological trauma of his imprisonment will take far longer to heal. The romantic tension surrounding Elizabeth Weber, Dante Falconeri, and Rick Lansing turns downright dangerous. Rick's intricate plan to frame Dante for official misconduct and police brutality comes within inches of succeeding, but an sharp-eyed Alexis Davis uncovers a critical discrepancy in the paperwork Rick filed. Confronted by Dante and Elizabeth in a tense standoff near the waterfront, Rick's desperate obsession is laid completely bare. Realizing he has permanently destroyed any lingering affection Elizabeth once held for him, Rick retreats into the shadows, a disgraced figure leaving behind a clear path for Elizabeth and Dante to commit fully to their growing relationship. Meanwhile, Dr. Lucas Jones completes a profound emotional transition. Having navigated the terrifying aftermath of Sidwell's target on his life, Lucas finds lasting healing through his bond with Joe, choosing to step back into his leadership duties at General Hospital with renewed purpose and clarity. Ava Jerome, witnessing his resilience, finds her own perspective softened, offering genuine support as Portia resumes her duties at the medical center. On the international espionage stage, Anna Devane's dangerous internal mental crisis is brought to a head by Jason Morgan and Sonny Corinthos. After Jocelyn's accidental slip of the tongue threatens to compromise an ongoing WSB strike against Sidwell's remaining international network, Jason acts swiftly to neutralize the threat before collateral damage can occur. Working in tandem with Britt Westbourne, Jason manages to secure vital intelligence that dismantles the syndicate for good. Recognizing the severe toll the lingering visions of Peter August have taken on Anna, Sonny, and Jason step in not as criminal adversaries, but as protective allies, convincing Anna to step down temporarily from field duties to seek specialized medical recovery. As the month of August 2026 comes to a close, the dust settles over Port Charles. Old alliances have been tested, dangerous enemies have been neutralized, and new beginnings emerge from the wreckage of broken trust. Though peace has been restored to the surface, the seeds of future drama remain planted deep within the hearts of its residents, ensuring that the next chapter in their lives will be as turbulent as ever.